Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Shan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. The World Bank commits $1 billion for India's plan to upgrade solar capacity. Pact backs efforts to raise solar power by nearly 30 times to 100 gigawatts by 2020. Amid growing opposition demands to disqualify 21 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs over Office of Profit charges, Election Commission seeks details of their appointments and benefits. Two more terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in the Pulwama district of Kashmir. 2 security personnel and 4 civilians injured in the operation. And fresh US-led coalition strikes in Fallujah kill over 250 Islamic State fighters. Strikes are described as the latest setback suffered by the terrorists in the self-proclaimed caliphate. Our top story this evening, the World Bank today pledged $1 billion as support to India for its solar energy program. Now, this is the biggest ever solar loan given by the global lender to any country. The deal was signed after a meeting between the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the World Bank President Jim Yong Kim.
The World Bank is helping Indian plans to upgrade solar capacity by nearly 30 times to 100 gigawatts by 2020. On Thursday, after meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, World Bank Chief Jim Yong Kim confirmed the bank will lend a record $1 billion for India's national solar mission. The pact was signed in the presence of Finance Minister Arun Jaitley and Power Minister Piyush Goyal. The World Bank also signed an agreement with the International Solar Alliance, comprising 121 countries led by India.
India continues to be one of our absolutely most important partners. Our goals are to end extreme poverty in the world and boost shared prosperity. And India's success over the last 2 years is one of the true bright spots.
India and the World Bank also signed an agreement for a $625 million grid-connected rooftop solar program. The project will finance 400 megawatts of solar photovoltaic installations that will provide clean and renewable energy.
कुछ इनोवेटिव फाइनेंसिंग नए प्रकार के फाइनेंस के मॉडल्स पे भी चर्चा हुई, जिससे वर्ल्ड बैंक की सहायता से हम अपने नवीकरणीय ऊर्जा के कार्यक्रम को और गति दे सकें.
The World Bank president also appreciated India's rapid progress in improving ease of doing business, especially in logistics. India is now ranked as the second best among developing countries in ease of doing business.
Also has a keen interest with the kind of improvements taking place in India. With regard to the ease of business ranking, we've made out we've given our viewpoint to the World Bank. Their teams will separately be coming to India to assess the progress which we made in this regard.
Prime Minister Modi also expressed happiness at the World Bank's continued support to India, especially in priority areas like smart cities, Ganga rejuvenation, skill development, Swachh Bharat and power for all. Kim appreciated India's progress in achieving ambitious targets in these programs. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley met RBI Governor Rajan in the national capital today after the government initiated the process of constituting a new monetary policy committee this week.
RBI Governor Rajan met Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Thursday to discuss an independent monetary policy committee. The 6-member committee that will decide lending rates will have 3 RBI officials and 3 government-nominated members. However, it's unclear if new interest rates will be announced in the August policy review meeting.
I think we are putting out the structure of the MPC. Let's see how far it gets.
Currently, the RBI governor has overriding powers to accept or reject the RBI panel recommendations on monetary policy.
Let's see how far it gets.
But the MPC will set interest rates by a majority with a casting vote for the governor. The committee is expected to bring value and transparency to monetary policy decisions. It will meet 4 times a year and publicize its decisions after every meeting. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The news from the national capital. And amid Office of Profit allegations against 21 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs appointed as parliamentary secretaries by the Delhi government, the Election Commission has sought details of their appointment from the Chief Secretary. The EC wants to formulate its opinion ahead of giving the MLAs a personal hearing on the 14th of July.
Amid growing demands to disqualify 21 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs appointed as parliamentary secretaries by the Delhi government, the Election Commission has now sought details of the facilities provided to them and the nature of their work. In a letter to Delhi's Chief Secretary, the poll panel sought copies of the government orders creating these posts, copies of appointment letters and nature of duties assigned to them. It also wanted to know if the MLAs have been paid salaries, honorarium fees or service payments. The panel also asked for details about office space, support staff, residents, vehicles and drivers, if any, provided to these MLAs. The Commission will give its opinion before allowing personal hearings from the 14th of July. The Aam Aadmi Party, however, argues that other states have also made similar appointments.
राज्यों में जो ये संसदीय सचिव और मुख्य संसदीय सचिव बनाए गए हैं, इनको कार की सुविधा, इनको बंगले की सुविधा, इनको तनख्वाह बढ़ा के दी जा रही है, पुलिस का एस्कॉर्ट दिया जा रहा है, मंत्री के बराबर दर्जा दिया जा रहा है। तो इतनी प्रकार की सुविधाएं लेके सीधे जो लोग ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट के तहत आते हैं, जिनके ऊपर राज्य सरकार करोड़ों रुपए पानी की तरह बहा रही है, जिसकी आरटीआई भी आ चुकी है, उनकी सदस्यता आप कैंसिल कीजिए, ऐसा अनुरोध हम लोगों ने इलेक्शन भारत के निर्वाचन आयोग में किया।
The opposition, however, claims the posts of parliamentary secretaries are extrajudicial.
आम आदमी पार्टी चाहती है ये प्रक्रिया लंबी हो, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा समय मिल सके, क्योंकि उनको भी मालूम है कि ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट के दायरे में ये सब आते हैं और बच पाना बहुत मुश्किल है। तो इसलिए वो सिर्फ ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा टाइम मिल सके, इसलिए ये प्रयास है। और ये इलेक्शन कमीशन को मजबूर किया जा रहा है, पर्सनल हियरिंग मांगी जा रही है, जिससे ज़्यादा समय लगे।
In March last year, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal appointed the 21 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs as parliamentary secretaries to assist ministers. It was only after allegations of Office of Profit surfaced that his government sought to get legal sanction with retrospective effect for the action. The Delhi Assembly passed the Delhi Members of Legislative Assembly Removal of Disqualification Act 1997 in June 2015, but President Pranab Mukherjee put it on hold. The Election Commission has now taken note of the President's stand. With Bureau Inputs, Anu Diwan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
India today successfully test-fired a new surface-to-air missile jointly developed by Israel. The medium-range missile was successfully test-launched from a mobile launcher in the integrated test range at Chandipur at around 8:15 a.m. The missile provides military capability to neutralize any aerial threats and includes multifunctional surveillance and threat alert radar for detection and tracking systems. With a strike range from 50 to 70 kilometers, the missile will be included in all three services after user trials are completed. This is the first time that the system was tested in India. In the next few days, a series of tests will be conducted before it joins the Indian Air Force arsenal. The missile is also similar to the Barak 8 missile used by the Navy's new destroyers. It can intercept supersonic aircraft and even missiles. Two militants were killed today in an encounter with security forces in the Pulwama district of Kashmir. The encounter started after Army, CRPF and local police launched a search operation in the Malwara village to flush out militants in the area. The militants were reportedly hiding in a house when they opened fire on the security forces. Two AK-47 rifles were recovered from the dead militants. The bodies have been sent for post-mortem. Two security force personnel and 4 civilians were also injured in the operation. The encounter is still underway as the forces suspect the presence of a third militant. The Supreme Court today clarified that the term third gender refers only to transgenders. It said that people from the LGBT community did not come under this category. The court dismissed the petition on this and refused to modify its 2014 order that the centre had demanded. It also told the centre that lesbians, gays and bisexuals did not come under the purview of its 2014 order on transgenders. In April 2014, the court had given a landmark judgment to create a third gender status for transgenders. It also observed that transgenders were a socially and economically backward minority community who needed reservations like OBCs. Now, in fact, 5 children were among 8 people who died in a fire at a pharmacy in Mumbai's Andheri area. The fire broke out at around 6 a.m. in the morning in a pharmacy lying below the flat where the family was sleeping. The flames spread rapidly and engulfed the entire building. Further investigation is on to establish the reason of the fire, but short circuit is suspected to be the reason. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj today welcomed home Sonu, the Indian boy who went missing from Delhi 6 years ago and was traced in Bangladesh. The 12-year-old arrived in Delhi earlier on Thursday on a flight from Bangladesh. Sonu reportedly went missing from Delhi in 2010. He was traced from a shelter home in Bangladesh. A senior official of the Indian High Commission in Dhaka went to Jessore in May to meet Sonu on the directive of Sushma Swaraj. The Indian High Commission in Dhaka took custody of the boy on Tuesday. Pakistan today asked India to provide more proof to complete the 26/11 Mumbai attack trial in which Lashkar-e-Toiba operations commander Zakir Rahman Lakhvi and 6 others are accused. The Pakistani Foreign Office spokesperson Nafeez Zakaria told media persons in Islamabad on Thursday that they had written to India's Foreign Secretary seeking more proof against the accused so that the trial can be completed at the earliest. He added that a response is still awaited from the Indian side. Pakistan arrested 7 Lashkar-e-Toiba-linked militants, including Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, for their role in the Mumbai attack that killed 166 people. While Lakhvi was released on bail last year, the other accused are lodged in the Adiala jail in Rawalpindi. The case has been continuing in the country for more than 6 years now.
This is really ridiculous stand of Pakistan, and it clearly shows that Pakistan don't want to take any actions against the perpetrators of terror attack. This is an eyewash to the whole world. We have already given much evidence to Pakistani authority. Above all, Pakistan Judicial Commission, who we had visited 2 years back, Mumbai, they have examined some of our witnesses, key witnesses. Besides that, we have examined the David Headley, who was one of the key conspirators behind the terror attack of 26 November. Why Pakistan is shy of examining David Headley?
The Bombay incident took place more than 7.5 years ago. We had a terrorist caught red-handed who gave all the evidence. What do they want now? They want evidence from the dead bodies.
Some more national news stories now nationwide. Senior BSP leader and former minister R.K. Chaudhary resigned from the party today. His resignation comes a week after Swami Prasad Maurya quit the BSP. Echoing Maurya's allegations, Chaudhary claimed the BSP Supremo Mayawati was auctioning tickets ahead of the 2017 Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections. Chaudhary was inducted to the BSP ahead of the 2014 Lok Sabha polls. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan is expected to expand his cabinet. Chauhan visited New Delhi yesterday and is learned to have taken approval from the party's central leadership, including BJP President Amit Shah, to do so. At least 6 to 9 new members are expected to be inducted in the reshuffle. The Chauhan government has added 18 cabinet ministers and 4 ministers of state since December 2013. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti took oath as a member of the Assembly today. Speaker Kavindra Gupta administered the oath of office to her in his chamber in the Assembly Secretariat. Mehbooba was elected to the Assembly from Anantnag for the 4th time with a margin of more than 12,000 votes. The constituency was earlier represented by her father, Mufti Muhammad Saeed. Delhi University has come out with its first cut-off list. Unlike previous years, no college has kept 100% cut-off. Admissions to the academic session 2016-17 began today. This is for the first time that the university has introduced completely online admission procedures for undergraduate admissions, unlike previous years when it used both online and offline. Time for us to take a short break. Lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Like we talk about a Mars mission or a Venus mission or a Moon mission, it's the time to get into an Earth mission. It's a global issue that we are still short of predicting earthquakes. we strive to do is, in the event of an earthquake, how to minimize the loss, first to human lives and next to the property.
Watch Eureka with Dr. M. Ravi Kumar, Director General, Institute of Seismological Research, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Hello and a warm welcome to another edition of To The Point. Should I be in a position to say that Mr. Shyam Benegal will be successful in taking away the scissors from CBFC?
If anybody should use the scissors, it should be the person who's made the film.
Precedence is there. There was a Justice Mudgal committee report which was basically consigned to the dustbin. How hopeful are you really that the government is really going to implement the report?
All reports, they are implemented in part or in totality.
Watch To The Point with veteran filmmaker Shyam Benegal tonight at 10 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Some international news now, and at least 37 people were killed and 40 injured after 2 Taliban suicide bombers attacked a bus convoy in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, today. The first attack targeted 3 buses carrying police cadets who had just graduated from the Wardak province. The second suicide bomber drove an explosives-laden car into emergency services, killing scores of people. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack that comes 2 weeks after a strike against 40 Nepali security guards. American President Barack Obama today expressed concerns over long-term global growth following UK's vote to leave the European Union. Speaking at a summit in Ottawa, Obama appealed to UK and EU leaders to ensure an orderly process for the British exit.
US President Barack Obama appealed to UK and EU leaders to facilitate an orderly process for a British exit out of the European Union. Expressing concern about long-term global growth, Obama said Brexit will freeze investments in Great Britain or in Europe as a whole.
I think there are some genuine longer-term concerns about global growth if, in fact, Brexit goes through and that freezes the possibilities of investment in Great Britain or in Europe as a whole. At a time when global growth rates were weak already, this doesn't help.
The US President, however, expressed hope that Europeans will come up with a prudent plan to move forward.
Despite some of the initial reactions, I am confident that the process can be managed in a prudent, orderly way. I expect that our friends on both sides of the channel will develop a workable plan for how to move forward.
On Wednesday, after meeting without British presence, European leaders told UK to honour the principle of free movement of people if it wanted access to a single market. Meanwhile, British Interior Minister Theresa May launched her bid to replace Prime Minister David Cameron and lead the Conservative Party. May promised to honour the referendum decision to exit the European Union.
Brexit means Brexit. The campaign was fought, the vote was held, turnout was high, and the public gave their verdict. There must be no attempts to remain inside the EU, no attempts to rejoin it through the back door, and no second referendum.
Britain's Justice Secretary Michael Gove also entered the race for Prime Minister. The succession race triggered by Cameron's announcement to resign in the wake of the Brexit verdict is expected to be concluded by September. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
A series of American airstrikes killed at least 250 ISIS fighters driving in a convoy outside Fallujah on Wednesday. The strike comes after the triple suicide bombing at Istanbul's Ataturk airport that killed at least 42 people, where ISIS is considered the prime suspect.
Bombs detonating over the city of Fallujah. The deadly strikes killed at least 250 suspected Islamic State fighters on Wednesday. 40 vehicles were destroyed in the attacks by US-led coalition aircraft. The strikes were the latest setbacks suffered by the terrorists in their self-proclaimed caliphate of Iraq and Syria.
لحد الصباح دمرنا أكثر من 138 عجلة بما فيها وقتل ما فيها وتركوا جثثهم وقسم جرحاهم أخذوهم معاهم. هذه العملية في الحقيقة هي كسر الظهر.
The US-led campaign against the Islamic State moved up a gear in recent weeks with a victory in Fallujah. An alliance of militias also launched a major offensive against the terror group in the city of Manbij in northern Syria. The group's territorial losses, however, don't diminish the Islamic State's ability to strike abroad. Turkey bore the brunt of a triple suicide bombing by suspected Islamic State gunmen who killed 41 people at Istanbul's main airport. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more international news now in Global Buzz. Around 13 people were detained by the Turkish police, including 3 foreigners, in connection with the triple suicide bombing at Istanbul's Ataturk airport that killed 42 people. Over 239 people were injured in the attack on Tuesday. Police conducted raids at 16 places in Istanbul. They also suspect one of the 3 Islamic State suicide bombers may be a foreigner. This was the deadliest in a series of suicide bombings this year in Turkey. No group has, however, claimed responsibility so far. China claimed that Prague's arbitral tribunal had no authority to deliver a verdict on the South China Sea case. It also rejected any proposal or solutions offered by any third party. The verdict is due in July. China, however, said it will abide by international law and worked with states directly to resolve disputes in the South China Sea through negotiation and consultation. Rodrigo Duterte was sworn in as president of Philippines after a landslide election victory. The 71-year-old former prosecutor and longtime mayor of southern Davao City described himself as the country's first leftist president and declared his foreign policy would not be dependent on the United States, a longtime treaty ally. The UN Security Council agreed to send 2,500 more peacekeepers to Mali. The nation was hit by a series of deadly attacks and has become the deadliest place to serve for UN peacekeepers. The draft was put forward by France and has been approved by all the 15-nation council. According to the UN, 101 peacekeepers have been killed since peacekeeping forces were deployed. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered the start of measures to normalize trade relations with Turkey. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan wrote a letter on the 27th of June expressing regret about Turkey downing a Russian warplane last year that led to months of tensions. Both are expected to meet before the G20 summit in September. Some sports now, and in football, Poland will take on Portugal in the first quarter-final of the Euro 2016 in Marseille in France today. The clash will be a battle between two teams led by prolific goal scorers Cristiano Ronaldo and Robert Lewandowski. The two sides have met 10 times and the last encounter ended in a goalless draw in 2012.
Poland take on Portugal in the first quarter-final of the UEFA European Football Championship at Marseille in France on Thursday. The match will be a battle between two teams led by prolific goal scorers in Portugal's Ronaldo and Poland's Robert Lewandowski. With both sides putting in lukewarm performances in the first knockout round, the match could be decided by which of these two players is more clinical in front of the net. However, Portugal's coach Fernando Santos believes his team's Euro 2016 quarter-final will be similar to the Croatia clash in the previous round.
Obviamente que vai ser sempre partido estratégico, isso seguramente. O jogo da Croácia aconteceu também, que duas equipas muito fortes que conseguiram equilibrar e que tornou o jogo, esta parte de estratégia, conseguiu suplantar tudo o resto. As equipas equivaleram-se muito, lutaram muito, trabalharam muito as duas, encontraram-se muito estrategicamente, e isto acontece em muitos jogos, não é?
Poland go into the game as underdogs, having never previously progressed this far in an international tournament. The team has an impressive defensive record at Euro 2016, but standing in their way to a semi-final spot is arguably one of sport's greatest ever athletes, Cristiano Ronaldo. Poland defender Michael Pazdan too admitted it will be hard to defend against a forward line that also includes Nani and Ricardo Quaresma.
Tak, ale tutaj nie możemy patrzeć indywidualnie do tego spotkania. My musimy jako zespół przede wszystkim przeciwdziałać tej wielkiej trójce z Portugalii i to będzie klucz do sukcesu. Cały czas musimy być.
Portugal's last 5 European Championship ties have ended in draws after 90 minutes, although they scrapped through against Croatia in the last 16 with a 117th minute winner. The two sides have met 10 times, with their last encounter ending in a goalless draw in 2012, and the omens are that it could be another close game. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more sports action now in Sports Beat. The Supreme Court will issue an order to the BCCI on how to implement the Lodha panel report that is aimed at restructuring the board's administration. A two-member bench comprising Chief Justice T.S. Thakur and Justice Ibrahim Khalifullah has been hearing the matter for several months now. The BCCI and its affiliated units have steadfastly contested some of the proposals made in the report. India will take on New Zealand in the Six Nation Hockey Tournament at Valencia in Spain today. After losing 4-0 to Germany in their opening match, Sardar Singh-led Indian side defeated Ireland 2-1 in the second match on Tuesday. India will play against Argentina on Saturday and meet Spain on Sunday. Indian shuttlers Ajay Jairam and HS Pranoy advanced to the third round of the Canada Open today. Top seed Jairam struggled past Canada's Martin Gouffre 17-21, 21-17, 21-13 in a 54-minute match. Second seed Pranoy also made it to the pre-quarters after a hard-fought 13-21, 21-11, 21-15 win over Sweden's Matthias Borg. Barcelona forward Neymar and Bayern Munich winger Douglas Costa were included in Brazil's 18-man squad for the Rio 2016 Olympics. Brazil will debut in this tournament against South Africa in Brasilia on the 4th of August. Their remaining group matches will be against Iraq in Brasilia on the 7th of August and Denmark in Salvador 3 days later. Michael Phelps won the 200 meters butterfly, the US Olympic swimming trials on Wednesday to qualify for the Rio Games. Phelps, who owns the world record in the event, touched the wall in a winning time of 1 minute 54.84 seconds. It will be his 5th consecutive Olympics. He is already the most decorated Olympian of all time with 22 medals, including 18 gold medals. That's all from us. Goodbye.